Members Assembly fails to resume plenary after impeachment notice against Fubara. Zamfara cattle market hit, bandits steal over 500 livestock. And on the foreign scene, final death toll from Hong Kong fire put at 168. Now, widows of fallen heroes marked this year's Armed Forces Remembrance Day with deep pain, remembering their husbands who paid the supreme price in defense of the nation. Beyond the ceremonial parades and wreath laying, the widows used the occasion to voice their struggles and renewed calls for stronger government support. Trust TV's Bello Musa has more. All right, so we'll move on to more stories. Armed Forces Remembrance Day brings Nigerians to a post to honor those who died in uniform. But in Abuja, the loudest message was not about the past. It was about the men and women still alive, still struggling. Amina Ibrahim has more.
The ceremony followed familiar scripts. Wreaths were laid, tributes were paid to soldiers who gave everything for the country. But once the formalities ended, attention shifts from memories to survival. Many veterans say honor without support means little.
We are sad because the expectation the veterans are expecting from the government, they are yet to be met. I can continue talking from now till tomorrow about our expectations. We're written letters. All we are hearing is news. I'm not interested in the news. I'm interested in the actions. For instance, the salary we've been earning for over 10 years is the same thing till now, despite the fact that a lot of things have changed within the Nigerian society. Prices of things have increased up to 5-fold, even some places 10-fold. Meanwhile, the pension and salaries remain constant.
Nigerians call on the government to move beyond speeches and build a proper system that looks after soldiers, widows, and children they left behind.
I'm also, soliciting that it is not just the Armed Forces Remembrance Day, but the government should also look into the welfare of the armed forces too. Their welfare is very, very important.
For the sacrifice they have paid for us, like in during the challenges, like now I'm coming from Arab actually. The whole of that's not what to write about. But it's the only army men that are there trying to make sure they pave the way. So for the ones that have passed away, that have sacrificed during their service for us, yeah, they want the remembrance.
They deserve to be honored, they deserve to be appreciated. Their family should not be left behind dying, crying of hunger, starvation. Their children cannot go to school. This is great disservice to the nation. This is great disservice. And if you look at the sacrifices the armies are making compared to what politicians are doing, the armies are doing keeping the nation. So I don't think they should be left to suffer. So it's a shameful thing that the armies and their family have to protest before they'll be given their entitlement. It's shameful. It's tragic as a nation.
Back here in Abuja, the message was clear. While Nigeria remembers its fallen heroes, those still alive want something more solid than words. They want pension that comes in time, healthcare that works, and a welfare system that treats them with respect they earned on the battlefield. For them, this is not a charity, it is a debate. Amina Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Serving and retired military officers alongside civilians gathered at the Joseph Gomak Secretariat to pay tribute to fallen soldiers. For retired Colonel S.P. Yilwat, the day brought back memories of Nigerian civil war. and the price many paid to preserve the country.
Actually, I joined the army during the Civil War. And when we started the war, that is a country called Biafra. But federal government said, no, we must unite. That was the reason of the Civil War. And when we started, actually, there was no much problem like present situation. Actually, we fought the war when Onjuku was the head of Biafra. General Gawan was the head of state, federal government of Nigeria. Really, war is always very tough, but we were able to conquer the war.
He also raised concern over today's security crisis, saying the political class has not done enough to deal with the growing threat of violence.
But today, what is happening, actually we that we have retired, we are not happy. We are not totally happy. Just a bandit taking almost 24 years. What is happening? You see, I believe Nigerian citizens or the politicians, they are aiding this bandit. If they are not aiding them, I see no reason. We have security all over the country. Where are they getting the weapon?
Another retired officer, Philibus Ferry, spoke about life after service, saying many veterans still struggle despite years of sacrifice on the battlefield.
Only thing is that the government, they should understand with us the way we are now today, because some of us, we are being neglected. We are being neglected, which is very bad. So we want government to recognize the veterans the way we are. Some of us, we are not even strong enough, and we even go to outside country to keep peace for other people in the country. And Nigeria was very happy to see that the troops that have been found there.
Armed Forces Remembrance Day is set aside to honor Nigerian troops who lost their lives in war, peacekeeping missions, and internal security operations, and to remind the nation that their service and sacrifice should never be forgotten. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Hardship and shared by ex-servicemen, their wives and widows. In Katsina State, the day was marked by somber faces among veterans and their families as concerns over poverty, unemployment, neglect, illness, and poor living conditions dominated the occasion. Abdullah Yamadi reports.
Widows and families of soldiers who paid the supreme sacrifice in active service, as well as retired servicemen still alive, appear to be the worst affected. Many of them, described as poverty-stricken and malnourished, say they deserve better living conditions, lamenting that they survive from hand to mouth, relying on very little to meet basic needs. Several speakers referenced the administration of the late Umar Musa Yar'Adua during his tenure as governor of Katsina State, describing him as a father figure who stood by them and ensured improved welfare packages, better living conditions, and empowerment programs. Today, Families of those who fought to keep Nigeria united are calling for improved living standards, employment opportunities for their children, empowerment initiatives, and stronger sense of belonging.
It's not easy because it has been hard to the wives who lost their husband. At times, their husband family, they will not take care of the family. They will not take care of the daughters and the sons which left behind. What they are heading to, anything that is the benefit of the husband, that's what they are after to. I'm appealing to the step governor that they should look into this, our women who lost their husband and their daughters. Let them help them. Any contribution they have, let them remember them. They know their husbands struggle a lot for the nation.
I survived by the grace of God. I have children. I have 6 children. And most of them, they're supposed to have work now. No work. If they give us opportunity, they will bring other people from outside and give them work. Where our own are doing nothing.
Our conditions have been terrible. My husband has been sick for many years, and we have huge unpaid hospital bills. All we hear from these annual events are empty promises. Our children are unemployed. We are hungry, and we do not have enough food. Our union has been reduced to a toothless bulldog. We demand better living conditions, not unfulfilled promises.
The chairman of the Nigerian Legion in Katsina State, Warrant Officer Ahmad Hussein, retired, used the occasion of the 2026 Armed Forces Remembrance Day to call for the renovation of the Legion's headquarters and the provision of furniture to improve its operations.
All the amenities, you get it. So if person live outside or village come to the city, what is he looking for? He's looking for at least 5 essential things which will make him better in his life. Yeah. And now we have it.
In response, Governor Dikko Rada acknowledged the commitment and sacrifices of the armed forces in restoring peace and security, assuring that the Katsina State government remains resolute in its fight against banditry.
From the trenches of the past conflict to the front lines of today's counter-terrorism operation, our armed forces have stood firm. They are particularly mindful of the ongoing challenges facing our nation, including the insurgency, banditry, and other forms of insecurity that test our resolve. Yet, even in the face of those trials, our military men and women continue to demonstrate exceptional heroism.
Many residents of Katsina State, however, view Armed Forces Remembrance Day as largely ceremonial, arguing that the nation has not adequately reciprocated the sacrifices of its servicemen beyond annual parades and wreath-laying ceremonies that often end with promises followed by prolonged silence. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Nigeria today marks Armed Forces Remembrance Day, a moment to honor men and women who defended the nation's sovereignty, many of whom never returned home. In Kano, the ceremony goes beyond wreath-laying, revealing personal stories of veterans and widows still struggling long after service. Abdulaziz Ibrahim reports.
On this day, the nation pauses to honor its fallen heroes with wreath-laying, gun salutes, and solemn reflection. But remembrance is not only about ceremonies, it's also about how veterans live after service and how families cope after loss. In Tudun Malamai near Janguza Barracks in Kano, retired Warrant Officer Moses Maina reflects on decades spent in uniform. For him, remembrance is a mix of pride and frustration. As he says, support for retired soldiers and widows remains inadequate.
Somebody you retire with him, you never see him, but this day you will meet with him, so you will be happy seeing this is my friend, this is my colleagues when we retire together. We're supposed to support our people, those when retires, because actually they work for us, not be small. Somebody you will see him with one eye, one leg, because of whom? It's because of us, to protect us, to protect our country, so that we're supposed to support them. Even the civilian I'm living with them, some if they see you like this, they will hate you. Sometimes I see that, why did I join this army? Because some people, they will not fit to come closer to you, to stay with you and joke with you.
For widows, remembrance is deeply personal. At the Military Widows Association in Kano, Coordinator Hannatu Aliu Bulama says survival remains the biggest challenge. She calls for empowerment rather than sympathy, noting that many children of fallen soldiers are graduates without jobs.
It is very important to us because how they remember our husband who served the country and left. They support to help the widows because majority of the widows, we are suffering. Especially things are so difficult to us. So what I want this our government to do for the widows is to empower the widows so that especially the women, when the mothers have something to do in the world, so they can know how to give their children training and to feed them well, how our children can play their life like some have their own parent, both the mother's father side and the mother's side.
I went through hell since my husband passed away. At a time, I got lost of everything I had in the house. The enemy came and burnt down my things when I went to work. I was helpless. The only wear I had on my body was what I have on me. Since my husband died and left us, we've been struggling. I've been struggling to make sure these children are somebody. And to God be the glory. I thank God they are still alive. But I want the government to help us to put them in an appropriate way because some of them are graduates.
Back at the parade ground, government officials insist the day is more than symbolism.
We organize, we remember them, we pray for them, those who have departed, and those who are serving, who sacrifice their discomfort for our own, so that we chart a new course for our country. There is no replacement for peace, and we can only have that when we appreciate our members of our armed forces and other security agencies.
In Kano, Armed Forces Remembrance Day is about lives after service, families after loss, and promises yet to be fulfilled. The challenge remains to ensure remembrance goes beyond ceremony and that honor is sustained through action. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Kano.
Now, activities marking the 2026 Armed Forces Celebration and Remembrance Day have concluded in Benue State, with families of fallen heroes calling for increased government support. The event was climaxed by wreath laying at the tomb of the unknown soldiers at the IBB Square, Makurdi, by top government officials, military chiefs, as well as traditional and religious leaders in honor of serving and fallen members of the armed forces. Our correspondent in Benue has the details.
Under a clear Makurdi sky, military formations, veterans and security agencies assembled at the IBB Square for a solemn yet colorful ceremony to mark the 2026 Armed Forces Celebration and Remembrance Day. Governor of Benue State, Reverend Father Hyacinth Ali, arrived alongside other top government officials, military chiefs and traditional and religious leaders to inspect the guard of honor, acknowledging the courage, discipline and sacrifices of Nigeria's defenders. The governor then laid a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier, paying tribute to the men and women who laid down their lives in service to the nation. The ceremony took a deeper symbolism as white pigeons were released into the sky, representing peace, hope, and a future free from fear. Families of fallen heroes used the occasion to appeal for sustained government assistance to help them rebuild their lives.
Normally when the husband is dead, the wife no longer falls into the very good book of the family. She sometimes is left out over there, sometimes without roof over her head. So we want the government to get closer to us, just as the Reverend Father, the Governor of Benue State has promised, so that when he empowers us, we'll be able to help our families.
We want the government to help us, like empower us. Most of us, we are tired now. We are in villages. We need fertilizer to build our farms. We need a little stipend to start up businesses in the villages.
Speaking after the ceremony, Governor announced educational scholarship for the children of fallen heroes, as well as financial support for widows and widowers, reaffirming his administration's commitment to the armed forces and the families they left behind.
Last year, we began giving scholarships to the children of our fallen heroes, and then opening up small businesses for the widows and the widowers. And this is a reaffirmation I made to them just a few minutes ago, that we would continue to do this. Those who have retired, they're also aging, and it is our resolve to ensure that we work with them through their medical challenges. So, and I've designated this through the Office of the Homeland Security DG, and then together what the fallen heroes has left us with must be sustained. Unity of oneness, of purpose and of action.
As Nigeria reflects on the courage and sacrifices of its armed forces, the ceremony serves as a powerful reminder that the path to lasting peace lies in unity, sacrifice and unwavering support for those who stand on the front lines.
Now recycling back to our earlier report, where widows of fallen heroes marked this year's Armed Forces Remembrance Day with deep pain, remembering their husbands who paid the supreme price in defense of the nation. Beyond the ceremonial parades and wreath laying, the widows used the occasion to voice their struggles and renewed calls for stronger government support. Trust TV's Bello Musa has the details.
The Armed Forces Remembrance Day is a moment of honor, reflection and sacrifice. At the historic Murtala Square in Kaduna, families of fallen military heroes gathered to remember their loved ones who lost their lives in active service to the nation. However, for many widows, the day also reopens deep emotional wounds, as survival remains a daily struggle.
Anyone that said it's easy is never an easy task, because you having a husband at a long last, you wake up in a day and you will see there he's no more alive. The children are there. You have to cater for them, food, their shelter, their school, their welfare is really a challenge.
Another widow, a university graduate, says that despite her qualifications, she has been left to fend for herself and her children.
Many of us, we don't have anything doing. We don't have work. Even the one that has hand work, no support. Like me now, I'm a graduate, no work. Federal government need to assist us. We need assistance from federal government. Because it's when we are working, our children will go to good school and have good food to eat.
Beyond economic hardship, some widows say emotional trauma and ongoing health challenges have become part of their everyday lives.
So we are pleased to Nigeria to have acts of mercy, to look us, to pay us that one thought is going to help us. So for many widows, our children that suffer, there's no admission, no work, not even apply for army or any force. So far we don't have anybody to help us. So that is to drop our children. Most of our widows now that have BP because of challenge one thing of another.
Meanwhile, members of the Nigerian Legion, while reflecting on the sacrifices made by their colleagues in the armed forces, reiterated their continued commitment to the security of the nation.
We have tried a lot. We are army of yesterday and today also. We are not retired. We are not retired. We are still in active service because we are reserve legions.
The lane of reeds reopened unhealed wounds in the hearts of many widows present at the event.
I feel so bad, more especially during the parade, because I've packed out of the barracks. So seeing the parade today, it makes me shed tears, because I remember when we were in the barracks, how parade was nothing that I would like to see. But today, I've seeing the parade, I felt as if my husband was among them, and I was so bitter.
As the nation remembers its fallen heroes, widows and veterans alike are calling for sustained support beyond annual ceremonies, support that guarantees livelihoods, education, healthcare, and dignity for those left behind. Bella Musa, Trust TV News Kaduna.
This Armed Forces Remembrance Day marks 60 years since Nigeria's civil war ended, and the timing matters. Nigerians are not just watching parade or wreath laying. From today's battles against bandits and insurgents to debates about unity, security, and who belongs, the issue our soldiers fought over 6 decades ago still sits at the center of Nigeria's story. In this explainer, Abdullah Ahmed takes a look at what the Armed Forces Remembrance Day really means in today's Nigeria.
Nigeria is marking the 60th Armed Forces Remembrance Day, a milestone that goes beyond ceremony and wreath laying. It is a day that forces the nation to pause and remember the men and women who gave their lives so Nigeria could stand as a country. 60 years ago in 1966, Nigeria was pulled into its darkest moment, a civil war that tore communities apart and left more than a million people dead. Young soldiers, many still in their teens, were sent from their villages and schools into a battle they did not start. Some never came back. Others returned with scars that never healed. Armed Forces Remembrance Day was created to honor those who died in the war and in every conflict since then. From peacekeeping missions in Liberia and Sierra Leone, to the fight against insurgency in the northeast, to the banditry and kidnapping across the country, Nigerian soldiers have continued to pay the price for national security. For many families, this day is not about parade ground drills or military music. It is about a father who never came home, a brother who left and was buried in a flag, a widow raising children on a small pension. These are the faces behind the uniforms. Today, as security challenges grow from Borno to Zamfara, from the Niger Delta to the southeast, the meaning of remembrance feels even closer to home. Every day, troops are still in the field, still taking risks, still standing between civilians and violence. Armed Forces Remembrance Day is not about glorifying war. It is about respecting sacrifice. It is a reminder that the peace many of us take for granted is paid for by people we may never meet in life. 60 years on, the question for Nigeria is simple. Do we only remember our fallen heroes with wreaths and gun salutes, or do we honor them by building a country worth their sacrifice? For the soldiers still on the front lines, for the families still waiting, and for a nation still searching for peace, the Armed Forces Remembrance Day remains as relevant today as it was 6 decades ago.
You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break, Zamfara cattle market hit. Bandits steal over 500 livestock. This plus more will return. Just stay with us.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is News Hour on Trust TV. In case you missed it, here's a recap of our top stories again. We told you that widows of fallen soldiers struggled despite promised honors. And Rivers Assembly fails to resume plenary after impeachment notice against Fubara. Now move on to more stories. The football pitch in Yola, Adamawa State, came alive as the state governor's team locked horns with the brigade commander's team in novelty football match to mark the 2026 Armed Forces Remembrance Day. The friendly encounter was part of activities organized to honor Nigeria's fallen heroes and celebrate the courage and sacrifices of serving and retired members of the armed forces. Take a look.
Let's go! 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 We are putting! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Excitement filled the stadium as the governor's team took on the brigade commander's team in a novelty football match organized to commemorate the 2026 Armed Forces Remembrance Day.
Well, the essence of these activities that is in line with the Armed Forces Remembrance Day is to at least put a smile and a softening heart for our beloved widows and orphans who are the family of our departed heroes in our midst. We carry them along so that they should not feel as if they are being neglected by the society or we, the colleagues that are still alive.
The match ended in a 1-1 draw, but beyond the final scoreline, spectators described the encounter as a powerful symbol of unity, solidarity between the military and the civilian population. Speaking at the event, Governor Ahmad Murfintri, through his Chief of Staff, Edgar Amos, emphasized the importance of public cooperation with security agencies, noting that the credible intelligence from citizens remains critical to national security.
One important lesson in today's match is that security is not just the responsibility of the armed forces, but we will have a more secure society if the armed forces and the civilians collaborate. That is the big lesson for today's sports.
The event underscored not only the sportsmanship and remembrance, but also the need to strengthen civil-military relations in the collective pursuit of peace and security across the state and the country. Gibson Soadugo, Trust TV News, Yola.
Now, armed bandits have rustled more than 500 cattle at Kaswardaji Animal Market in Kaura Namuda local government area of Zamfara State. The chairman of the Cattle Breeder Association of Nigeria, CBAN, in the state, Aminu Garba, confirmed the incident, noting that it was not the first time such an attack had occurred, recalling a similar incident about 4 years ago. Garba said the bandits were believed to have infiltrated the market and nearby villages during the day, monitoring transactions before launching the attack. He explained that the rustled animals were purchased from different markets, including cattle brought in from the Republic of Niger and assembled at Kaswardaji, the largest animal market in the area. According to him, the bandits, who were said to be larger in number, drove the cattle towards the western part of Kaswardaji village. In a separate interview, one of the victims, Sani Yaba Ajiamfawa, said the attackers numbered over 100. Ajiamfawa added that the stolen cattle belonged to herders popularly known as Yentugu. He disclosed that as part of filing this report, about 60 cattle had been recovered out of the total number rustled. And now in business, the management of Dangote Cement PLC has reaffirmed its commitment to growth, sustainability, and strong partnership with its distributors across Nigeria and Africa. Speaking at the company's 2026 Annual Cement Distributors Award Night in Lagos, the chairman of Dangote Cement PLC, Emmanuel Ikazubo, highlighted key market achievements, describing growth as a shared responsibility. The report.
Dangote Cement PLC has sustained its position as Africa's leading cement manufacturer through strategic expansion, innovation, and strong partnerships with customers and distributors. The 2026 Awards Night, held on Wednesday, January 14, 2026 in Lagos under the theme Partners for Growth, attracted prominent figures from across Nigeria's political and business landscape. Speaking at the event, the chairman of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, commended distributors for their tireless efforts in driving sales, expanding market reach, and strengthening the company's leadership position across Africa.
It's an honor to stand before a determined and focused group of people who are not only our cherished distributors, but the very heartbeat of our organization. Your tireless work in the field, your alluring commitment to our products, and your direct engagement with our customers are what turn our vision to strategies into a tangible results. Our celebration today, tagged Partner for Growth, is a clear testament that our growth journey for 2026 has already begun. This is why we are holding our awards and celebrations early in the year. It is therefore time to intensify our efforts in the business of distributing our range of cement products.
Chairman of Dangote Cement PLC, Emmanuel Ikazubo, outlined the company's market achievements and reiterated that sustainable growth is a collective effort between the company and its partners.
We have maintained our position as a leading cement manufacturer thanks to your tireless efforts in driving sales and expanding our reach. Strategic expansion. We have expanded our production capacity to meet the growing demand for cement, both in Nigeria and in Africa, and we are committed to ensuring that our products meet the highest standards of quality. We are innovative. We've introduced new products and solutions that cater to the evolving needs of our customers, and I'm excited to see how these will continue to drive growth in the coming year.
The award night was marked by celebration and recognition as outstanding customers and distributors, both local and international, were rewarded with brand new vehicles, cash prizes, CNG trucks, and consignment of Dangote Cement. Addressing award recipients, Lagos State Deputy Governor Obafemi Hamzat urged distributors to scale up their performance, encouraging them to help grow production capacity beyond 1.4 million tons to 2 million tons and to strengthen Dangote Cement footprint across Africa.
Haji Aliko, we thank you very much, and for all the distributors and customers that are here that are getting all sorts of rewards tonight, I think you deserve it. You are partners in progress. We pray that you continue to prosper and you continue to do well.
Definitely, I was really expecting it, because we emerged number one in 2023, we emerged in 2024, and winning for 2023 and 2024, we see it as a call to do more, and we put in a lot of effort for year 2025. So it was really what we were expecting. We are not expecting anything than that excellent result that was communicated tonight.
Dangote Cement PLC says it remains confident that rising demand, strong brand equity, consistent quality, and strategic partnerships will continue to distinguish the company as a leader in Africa's cement industry.
Now, away from Nigeria, the final death toll from a devastating fire at Hong Kong housing complex in November has risen to 168, the city's security chief confirmed on Thursday. Security Secretary Chief Chris Tang said identification of victims has been completed, revising the earlier figure of 161 fatalities. The blaze in Taipu district is now regarded as the world's deadliest residential fire since 1980. Authorities said the names of the victims will not be released to respect the wishes of bereaved families, all of whom have been notified. The victims include 110 women and 58 men, aged between 6 months and 98 years. Among them were a firefighter, construction workers, interior decorators, and migrant domestic workers. The fire swept through 7 of 8 towers at the Wang Fok Court complex, which was undergoing renovation and covered with substandard netting, believing to have aided the spread of the flames. Police said 16 suspects have been arrested for manslaughter, while 6 others are being investigated for fraud. Now on sport, reactions continue to trail Nigeria's semi-finals loss to host Morocco on Wednesday. Now Trust TV's Adeni Ajishafe has more.
Honestly, well, it's one of those things, but I must be sincere. Often I have not recovered from that shock. Well, anything can be expected in football, but then, especially when it comes to that level of penalty shootout, if it's an outright win, it's a different thing. But at that level, one will feel it so bad. So up to now, I have not recovered from the shock. No, even the referee, one can 100% blame him, but he was somehow to Moroccan side. Because some of the fouls and all the things he did that we supposed to also have such advantage, he didn't give to us, but he gave to them. So it's just God that deserves us to the end of that match. So, and the pattern of play of our boys, where they understand why they play like that, unlike before.
I was highly disappointed. We should have done better, a lot better. Morocco, the game they play was not up to our match. You understand me? And there are some people that we feel. No, I know we miss Ndidi, but there are some people we feel that was playing on the left wing. The man was not doing much at all. Onye Dika or something like that. He was not doing much at all. Then you see, when Osimhen is forward, we should have people to support him. If Osimhen is forward with about 3 backmen, he may not be able to do much. They will just leave only Osimhen to be there. You see, if 1 or 2 people, by the time he struggle for the ball and maybe the ball misses and he falls to the hands of another Nigerian, it will be better. But they will leave Osimhen among 4 or 3 people. You understand me? Their game yesterday, if you look at their game against Algeria, you will be wondering what the way is the same Nigeria that played Algeria that played this Morocco. Morocco is not our match. That game shouldn't have gone to extra time.
And with that, we wrap today's news hour on Trust TV. Do not forget to watch and follow us across all our social media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentaries. I am Fatima Ahmed Musa from me and the crew. Thanks for watching.